A very good morning and welcome to Quotes, Quibble and Question, your weekly leadership development fix from me, Matt the Coaching Guy. As we reach the incredible milestone of the 99th edition, it reminds you that we've barely scratched the surface of what's possible on our leadership journeys. Today we're exploring one of the most powerful forces shaping our leadership effectiveness, your belief about what's possible. The phrase, the sky's the limit, has always felt too small for me. Why stop at the sky when you have an infinite space beyond it? When you shift our perspectives from seeing limits to seeing invitations, we transform from leaders who manage constraint to leaders who create possibilities. Your beliefs don't just influence your decision, they build your reality. And the quotes for this week are: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, Henry Ford. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin, Tony Robbins. Your limitations are only your imagination, Unknown. The person is limited only by the thoughts that he chooses, James Allen. So your quibble this week: when an expansive belief fuels innovation, breakthroughs in performance, and extraordinary results, it makes you wonder what is actually possible. When you embrace limitless thinking, you create a culture where your team stretches beyond conventional boundaries, solves impossible problems, and achieves what others may deem unrealistic. But I still feel far too many people continue to use these phrases. There is no way we can do that. That's impossible. No, we can't. We don't have time. That's just how we work in our industry, because it's the way we do it around here. Here we have tried something similar before and it didn't work. That might work with other companies, but we're different. I'm sure you hear these things around you day in, day out, and they're limiting beliefs. However, on the flip side, having blind optimism can lead to poor resource allocation, unrealistic deadlines, and team burnout. Leaders need grounded thinking to make sound decisions, manage risk effectively, and set achievable milestones. Pure, limitless thinking without practical constraint can result in wasted resources and demoralised teams when reality inevitably intrudes. The sweet spot lies within grounded, limited thinking, maintaining expansive visions whilst applying practical wisdom. Great leaders dream without limits but plan with intelligence, inspiring their teams towards lofty goals whilst building realistic pathways to achieve them. So here's some things that have worked for me. Identify 3 limiting beliefs currently constraining your leadership or your team performance. Write them down and challenge their validity. Take one impossible challenge your team faces and reframe it as an invitation. What becomes possible when you remove the artificial ceiling? Schedule a team discussion focused purely on what if we could, before diving into how can we. Find one example of someone who has achieved what you're currently considering impossible in your field and study their approach. Take one small action this week, assuming success rather than preparing for failure. And create invitations, not blockers. And here's your powerful question for this week. If I knew with absolute certainty that I could not fail, what would you attempt that you are not currently attempting now? Take 5 minutes with this question. Let your mind wander beyond the usual constraints of budget, time and resources. What emerges when you remove the safety net of realistic limitations? That's where the next breakthrough lies. Remember, the sky was never the limit. It was just the first milestone. Your leadership journey has no ceiling except the one that you choose to accept. Thanks for listening to the newsletter this week. If you have any other subject matters that you'd like to hear, please drop me an email at matt@thecoachingguy.co.uk. And if you're thinking about getting with a coach and you want to explore how I might be able to help me, drop me a message on LinkedIn and let's start a conversation and see how I can help. Have a great week. Bye for now.